What's happening, party people? Steve Mayeda here with the TSL Podcast. It's August 9th, 2017, and we are talking about resistance, sexual resistance, the things women say when they don't want to have sex with you, and the things women say when they do want to have sex with you. How do you know when it's the right time to make a move? How do you know she wants you? How do you know that she is desiring you? And what happens when she puts on that no, or I don't want to, or starts questioning you about different things? So one of the things that we're bringing this up for is because this was a question that was asked on our TSL call. This was a question that was asked in a part of our communities that, you know, what we do, we interact with guys all the time. That's where we produce these videos and that's where we interact. Now, you can do that on a free level by going to the Austin Men's Development Board, and you can find out about all that stuff on the free stuff link down below. But get involved with what we're doing. Get involved with our podcasts, our YouTube channels, our suggested videos, all these different things, because they're there for you to be a better man. And that's actually how the Daily Awesome podcast started out, where we talk about all the other stuff that's not included in sex. Because when we started to better our social and sexual lives, all that stuff got better. Our careers, our focus, our purpose, our ambition, our bodies, all those different things were huge for us in our growth. And I want you to be a part of it. So free stuff linked down below, subscribe to our stuff, get involved with what we're doing. It's badass. In any case, guys, resistance, never meet resistance with the assumed answer that she's looking for, or never meet resistance with resistance. Much like somebody when they're angry, they're going to come at you with a lot of stuff that they're feeling, and they don't want to be wrong. They don't want that thing that they're angry about or asserting themselves about to be something that is challenged or wrong or met with, or maybe they do because that will fuel it a little bit more. But where this particularly came up was a guy was on a date with a girl, and she said, now this happens all the time. That's why we're making a video about it. We'll probably make way more videos about it. We probably have already made 20 videos about it. But what happens is that, or what happened was this guy was on a date with a girl, and she said, well, you're not dating to be married. And he said, no, I'm not. And then she started to put all this stuff on. Well, you're not doing, and she went down this checklist of things that are going on. Now, why people have resistance about sex and sexuality and the whole dating scene isn't because that represents their sex or sexuality, their passion about sex, their ability to have relationships, or any of the reality of what their life is going to be. What that represents is the fear of why that hasn't happened. So the reason why she isn't sexually open, the reason why she isn't perhaps married or had a good dating life or had anything that's working for her in the ways that she wants, because if she did, she'd be in a great relationship. Those are the things, the fear of not getting those things is what's talking, right? And so we get this all the time, man, in so many different ways. So that's a very low level one, but this happens all the time where another one of our guys, our members actually comes up, come up on our calls, man. It's good stuff. But he was saying like, no, man, I'm on this breakup with my wife. And the girl that I'm fucking said, well, when are you going to make me blah, 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 you know, the main girl? Are you going to stop dating other girls? Or what's going to happen? Like, what is this? What are we? Resistance. That's a form of resistance. That's a form of her saying that I'm done with this, or I don't like what we're doing. Do this instead, or redefine it for me, or blah, 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 blah. If he comes at drama with drama, if he comes with the expected answer of like, well, I don't know, but I don't know. Or no, you're the only one for me. Or no, I'm not going to do this. You're going to get a shitstorm of rehearsed and things which are empowering that anger within her. Not necessarily the real her, but empowering that. You have to be able to attack or subdue these things in the right possible way. So let's actually look at that. How do we get that? How do we get that? How do we get somebody to feel okay with themselves being heard? To also okay with us being us with our decision, and then go about, which is the most fueled part of the relationship. In my friend's case, who's married, is that girl still wants to have sex with him. On the date, they haven't determined yet whether or not they want to be with each other, but they very well could, or sleep with each other. They very well could. You know, one thing actually I told them about in that situation is that the reason why she's saying that is because she probably hasn't done that many times. She's probably gone to bed with guys, or maybe not gone to bed with them, but invested in relationships and gone down this path of her dating life that wasn't focusing on that. And now she's trying to protect herself from it. It's kind of like, I will never date a man who abuses me. A woman who says that has probably been in some relationships where she's been abused. That doesn't mean she deserves it in any sort of way. That doesn't mean that it's right. What that means is what is the motive behind this and what is she really speaking from? And that's what we want to get to. So this comes up over and over again. I'm going to give you one more example because resistance is such a key thing. Let's say we're making out with a girl in a car. We grab her breast, we're making out, we pull our dicks out or whatever it is that we're doing in terms of escalation. We have tons of videos on that. You should never get that wrong. We have a huge resource point for sexual escalation all throughout our podcast. It's amazing. There's so much good stuff. And she says, no, stop. No, wait. And we go, okay, I don't want to be some rapist guy. I don't want to be any of that, but I'm so charged with hormones that I turn into that guy where I'm like, oh, but please, but we don't know what to do. We can't meet that resistance with that expected result. What we have to do is we have to ease that resistance. So what we're going to see in all these examples of on a date where somebody's being told like, this checklist of questions that are really trying to protect this girl, or in a situation where a guy's going through a divorce and, it's not finalized yet, but he has a girlfriend and his girlfriend wants to know what we are, even though he's dating and kind of met her in that way, or we're in a direct sexual escalation with the woman and we're getting sexual and she says, no, wait. So here's the thing. In all those situations, none of these women want us to be somebody that is a bad guy. What they want is they want to make sure that we hear them and we're a good guy. Well, essentially that we're a good guy. We're the kind of guy that she wants to spend her time with, whether it's in a sexual situation, whether it's in a relationship situation, or it's in the first situation that we put out there, which is a dating, first date sort of situation. She wants to know that we are somebody that can hear her and hear what she's talking about. All those things that all those three women talked about, much like when we're in a sexual state or we're in a state where we don't know, they're not actually in reality of what she really wants or what it's going to be, right? So there's so many times where if you're a sexually active guy that that when you're sexually escalating with a girl, she may be, no, wait, stop. And then you guys relax for a little bit, you pick the sex back up and you have sex. And what really changed? But all of a sudden it was a good move and it was something great, but you don't really understand it. Or you're in a relationship with somebody, she's like, tell me what this is and and then a day passes or an hour passes or whatever it is. And she's like, but I just love you. I'll support you in whatever ways. And then 2 weeks later, it comes up again. Or you're in a dating situation and she's running you through the ringer of all the things she thinks and what she wants and yada, yada, yada. And you guys end up having a great date and you keep dating for a long period of time. So we know that thing isn't really logically what she is processing. But when we answer that and we answer it directly, we buy into this fear, and fear or anger leads you down a road that is just so its own path that gets you away from your expression. So we don't want that. So what we have to get is we have to get a real expression. The best thing that we can do when we have somebody that's dramatic with us is we can let them express. We can make sure that they're heard. Now that doesn't mean that we need to go, oh, well, express to me why you are dating for marriage or whatever. But what she needs to know is that her feeling, her hunch that she has is a good one. And even though mine may be different, that it's not in conflict with it. All right. This is very important. It's very important. When people express, they don't need to judge. It's a fundamental of rapport. It's really, really great. There's plenty of rapport videos that we have on our channel as well. Check those out, man. If you want to make connections with people, watch our shit. It's the best. Sexual escalation and rapport, it's awesome. And it's always like customizable, which nobody else does. So it's really fucking cool. In any case, she wants that. And also with the relationship question, that's spawning from a fear of like, well, are you going to, be done dating other people, or what are we? Tell me what this is. And those types of questions. How we got to answer that is like, hey, I want to hear your view on it. Well, what is it? Yeah. I don't know. You tell me. And have that sort of interaction take place first. In the sexual escalation thing, the same thing. No. Wait. Hey, cool. We could stop. But I want to see what you feel. And so let's go through different techniques that cover all of these. And then let's give you the principles behind them. All right. So the technique that we would have if we were being asked if, what are you dating for? Or what is this? Or why are you doing this? Are you dating other people? Like too many questions on a first date. And those things happen. It becomes a very normal and acceptable thing. And so many different of women's publications encourage women to do this. And hey, man, those are there for a reason. They must work in some way. But as a man, they can make things more confusing. It just makes things so crazy. And so a man working on his dating life, it can be nuts. But what I would do is, because I want to alleviate the pressure, open up a door and offer a road to walk on, which is really part of the process, is to alleviate that pressure, open up the door and give her a path to walk on, is basically this, is to say like, man, that's interesting. So no, I'm not dating to get married. I'm not looking for that right now. But why do you? I want to hear your take behind it. All right. And so basically, I'm taking the pressure away. I don't want an argument. Right? An argument's not going to do anything. Me being right and her being wrong, or her being right and me being wrong, does nothing but make half of the parties involved feel bad. In fact, might make the total party involved feel bad. So the thing is, I just want to say, well, what's your perspective on it? No, man, I want to know. I've thought that in my life, and I might think it again, but I want to know. And you have her talk, and you have her talk, and you make sure her expression is heard. And you go, oh, yeah. No, I could totally be there, but just not right now in my life or whatever. But that's and then compliment it, man. Compliment that. Give it some intention. Give it some food. Because what people love, what all people love is to be heard and loved for what they've voiced, right? So if I tell you about why I'm dating to be married and I say, man, I'm doing this and that, and God, I just want to be married, and it's one of the most important things, and I hate everybody who doesn't do that, and and they get involved in the anger, and we don't want to speak to that. Remember, you don't want to speak to that. And you just say, man, that's really beautiful. That comes from like a point of honor. I get what you said about everybody else, but let them make their choices on yada, yada, yada. But like that's really, really, a very like honorable thing. That's great. And so now we've cooled that down and we can allow her expression to take place. Once her expression takes place more, we can start stating intent towards it if we like her and move that date further along to where we're connecting with rapport and some actual sexuality rather than communicating with the things we fear about sexuality. Now, the relationship question comes up is, what is this? What are we doing here? Why are you blah, 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 going out every night, or what's up with your wife? Why hasn't she moved out yet? Or all these different things that happen that get messy in a divorce. And man, one of the things we have to say is like, hey, look, man, why are you asking all this? Like, look, I don't know the answer. I can't give you an answer. Maybe that's what you want. But if you're asking me if I respect you, if you're asking me if I hear you, I do. No, look, you're beautiful. You make me go through, but I'm not in a place. You said it. My wife hasn't moved out yet. The divorce isn't finalized. I'm not in a place where I can give you what you need. So if we need to go, we need to go. Because it sounds like this is a crazy thing, but what is it that you want? Or maybe we should cool off for a little bit. So there, I'm not meeting it with like, man, shut up, or I'm not meeting it with like, oh no, look, I love you, baby, or no, I don't know, and whatever, and I'm not buying into the drama. I'm giving my calm take of actually not knowing or not being prepared and not being somebody who's in a place for this. Now, this sort of question or answer to the question that she's giving you is something that is going to come back. She will need a definition at some point. And for many years, I used this as a scapegoat to draw relationships out. But a couple weeks or maybe in a week, she'll ask the same question in a different way. And it's always funny because they say, just tell me what this is and I'll be fine. And then you tell them what it is, but it still doesn't have a full definition. And they say, but look, I just need this and I'll be fine. And they're not fine. And that's the thing. So you have to also know that this is just a way to alleviate pressure, deal with resistance, but you have to be the man that walks on that road. Now, the best example is the sexual example. And so we're making out with a girl in the car. We're grabbing her tits or whatever. We're going for the clothes in a car, like we're in high school, like we're savages or whatever. Man, I take great pride. Some people get so judgmental about that, but it's great. Of course, sex in a car is not the ideal place because you can't move around as much. But hey, it's kind of a cool deal to have on your checklist of things you've done in your relationship. But anyway, she says, no, wait, I don't want this. It's a very common thing. Now, what happens is, what are we saying no to? Obviously, she was sexually turned on to us for some reason. And obviously, rape is something that I am not encouraging in any way. Obviously, stepping on her boundaries as a woman, I'm not saying. But what I am saying is that no isn't exactly how we interpret it as, hey, I don't like you, go away, I'm not sexually attracted to you. These are a lot of things that the media or different publications that talk about female sexual escalation tend to be. It's like this big thing that you have to stop or you're a part of rape culture. And the thing is this is a natural thing that all men and women go through. We go through this thing where we're hooking up and she says no, she gets nervous, or maybe we say no and we get nervous and we stop and there's a huge point of confusion. Well, let's clear up that confusion. that confusion, sadly, isn't so black and white, is that I dislike you, get away from me. It's actually that there's a part of me that likes you and there's a part of me that isn't sure and I don't know and I don't feel safe and I feel sexually turned on, but I don't want my sexuality to get carried away and make a bad decision. I don't want my sexuality to embarrass me or make me look bad and all those different things. And so there's all those different things that she's feeling. And hey, I'm not a woman, but I know a lot of women and I've talked to it, and this has been a huge exploration of my life. And so one of the things that we do is the same thing, right? We alleviate that tension, right? We take a step back. We open the door and offer a path. Okay, and so how we do this is we use a model called 6 points of escalation that actually translates into the first two examples that we gave. The 6 points of escalation is that we're here escalating, we're showing intent, we're getting sexual, we're making out, we're grabbing breasts, she's grabbing our dick or whatever, we're pulling our dick out, whatever it is we're doing, and all of a sudden it gets to a point, and usually that point is very calculatable, it's very calculable. Sorry, that's the actual word. Usually that point is very, very easy to spot. And we know where it's going to happen is where we get more turned on than her. And we get to a point of lack of control. An easy way to see that, or the sense of that, is that we're kissing a girl, she moans, and then we press harder. That's a good point where it very, very common stops. We're making out for the first time. She gets into it. We press harder, she stops. Another time is that we might get too aggressive in our path of escalation where we start to put our hand down her pants, right? And she goes, oh, I feel it. So we think that's a green light for us to then stick our finger in her or something like that. And she's like, wait. Or she lets herself get into it. She gets into that feeling and then you press harder and she stops. A lot of this has to do with her getting aroused, us noticing and going further because of that. What the big issue is that is she in danger? Is she in a place where you're not seeing the real her? Is this unique? Is this something that you do to everybody? And these are a lot of the things that women will say in that point where, no, wait. I don't know. I'm not this kind of girl. I mean, I don't even know you. Do you do this to everybody? Or what is this? You don't even know my last name, blah, 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 blah. And it gets into this huge thing where there's a lot of drama and there's a lot of resistance that we can bite into, which is men we do, and then we don't get laid. So what we got to do is we got to back off and we got to take sex off the table. And so we just say, hey, man, it's all good. We don't have to do anything. Much like in the conversation, we don't want to buy into the girl talking about and I hate these people that just date and they're so loose with everything, da, da, da. We don't want to buy into the anger. We don't want to buy into the anxiety. We don't want to buy into the relationship girl's fears of being used or investing too much or whatever the different things that she's thinking. So in a girl that's being sexual with us, we don't want to buy into that. But I do know you. Da, da, da. All we have to do is we have to stop and we say hey, we don't have to do anything. It's all good. Look, I like you, you like me, and that's all we're doing. And if that's not what's happening, then we should stop. All right? It's cool. All the pressure starts to go away. All that pressure, the fight gets taken out of her. And we're talking literally how many seconds was this, okay? So I'm going to count here. She says, stop. And I say, hey, we don't need to do anything. We don't need to do anything. We don't need to be sexual. I like you, you like me. And as long as that's happening, that's what I want. That was literally 10 seconds. 10 seconds in that happened. She's disarmed. All right. And by saying disarmed, I'm not saying that we can attack her. I'm saying that she showed arms with us first. We weren't even showing that we wanted to be aggressive. She showed that to us first. And now that's subdued. And now we can go back to expression. And then how do we get that expression? Remember, we put that road out there to an open door. I obviously like you. You like me. Now I'm going to put out that road. And that road is going to be her expression, which we also saw in our first couple examples, which is look, we don't need to do anything, but you just kiss me how you're going to kiss me. What I always say, because usually my dick's out, I say, I'm going to put my pants back on. We don't need to do anything. And just kiss me how you want to. I want to feel you. I want her expression. So in this whole time, in just a matter of seconds, I have blasted through escalation. And it's very, very simple. Very simple. Now, we didn't quite cover the 6 points of escalation, but what it would be is that I'd show arousal towards her intent, which is whatever her action is, then we'd escalate from there. So basically, we see this happen over and over and over again in all our dynamics with people. We meet resistance, we meet anger. We want to diffuse that. We don't want to speak to it. We want to get their expression out and have that express to us. We want to show our intent to their expression. With the girl asking about the dates, it's like, oh man, well, hey, I don't want to have a discussion about like an argument about stuff. Like, but I want to know why you value, like, so what's your story with that? Oh, well, I just hate all the people that did it. Well, I'm not talking about hating all the people. Like, so yeah, you want to get married. Like, tell me what that means to you. You know, that's a big decision. I don't know if I can make that. That's crazy, you know, but I want to go along on that road, and that's just where I'm at. But man, it's beautiful that you think that, right? So I'm getting her expression out. I don't even need to express. I did a little bit there, but I want to show intent to her expression. Or with the girl, the side girl, as we say it, we're going through divorce, and she's like, "What is this? What is happening here? Hey, look, this is all good. I don't know how to answer that question, and you know I'm going through some shit. And there's a huge complexity to it. So I don't know what this is. But what I can tell you is I do care about you. And I care about you in all sorts of different ways. But I just can't be the man that you deserve. So if you need to walk away or whatever it is, that's cool. But, you know, do we need to stop having this conversation if we need to, or go our separate way, or whatever it is? What is it? Let her know she's heard. Right? And that's such a weird thing for men, right? And then give her, once she starts showing you what she wants, she's, well, I don't know, like blah, 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 blah. And she'll probably be all upset. Say, hey, look, I hear you. I'm here for you. Show that intention that she's looking for. In any case, we see this cycling all the time. It's hugely important to understand, but by a principle, just don't meet drama with drama. Don't meet resistance with resistance. Don't ever bring a fight to somebody who wants to fight. It's not a good idea. Let them cough their stuff out. Get them to express the real thing, not the reaction to the real thing. And man, show your intentions towards that. You'll mend a lot of stuff. It's a huge thing in dating. In any case, if you like this stuff, we have a world of stuff for you guys out there, man. Not only on the subscription to the different channels and so on, or the playlists and yada, 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 but we have a podcast. We have 2 podcasts. We also have communities, a free community that you can find with the free stuff linked down below. And we have paid communities that are just beautiful. Like I said, man, it's 10:18 p.m. here in Austin, Texas. And we actually have 15 guys talking on the call, just going off about the different things going on in their life. That's the MD Excellence program. Check it out if you're interested. It's a huge, huge family. There's so much benefit to it. It'll be one of the best memberships that you ever buy or are into. And hey, if you can't do that, check out our free boards. It's great, great stuff. In any case, Steve Mayeda signing off. You guys have a great day. And hey, don't forget, live your life, own it, be a sexual dude. Go out there, get some pussy. It's so good. It'll change your life. It will help you have some of the best sex of your life. All right, later.